A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, November 9th, 2023. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, and today we are standing near Macca's, the McDonald's, where we are adjacent to runway 0927 and also 18 left dash 36 right. Polderbaan, of course, being closed for maintenance until I think next week Wednesday, as of last Monday. So different location for the time being. This is at the moment the current status quo. We are right now, let me refresh, we are situated right here. This runway 27, is being used for landings as secondary runway. This is the primary runway nowadays, 18 center. Cargolux runway 24, the primary runway for departures. And Amsterdam 18 left, the secondary runway for departures. Last couple of days I noticed that when this runway was being used as secondary runway for arrivals, this runway was closed. And when this runway closed, this runway went open for departures. So I'm hoping that on this location we are going to see some continuity in traffic. Although time will tell, I'm not sure yet. This is the first time since the Polderbaan has been closed for maintenance that I'm standing here, so we'll see. Right now both runways are being used for... Oh, well, there you go. So now runway 27 is closed and it is the beginning of a departure peak. This is the weather situation right now. I will show you the big picture with the camera in a moment. We have a little bit of wind from the south, not a lot, less than 10 knots. We have a few clouds at 2,900 feet, scattered clouds at 4,500 feet. The temperature is 9 degrees Celsius. Visibility is 10 kilometers or more. Rain is expected later in the day, but it should arrive after the A380, which I'm not sure if we are going to see arrive. Of course, I hope we will, but this is an extrapolation until 12:20, the estimated time of arrival of the A380, so we should be good for its arrival, and fingers crossed that it's going to land on runway 27. This is the current situation in terms of the quads. We are expecting 3 queens, the closest of which is Suparna Airlines, arriving from Hefei, arriving from the west, the east, but then again runway 27 closed, so not sure if we are going to see any of them. Absolutely no idea how the day is going to progress. The Emirates A388 in standard livery is expected now to arrive 25 minutes past 12. It is over the Black Sea still. There are 2 747s also arriving from the west, which I'm also not sure about if we are going to see them up close. One from Miami expected around the end of the morning and one around noon, also arriving from Miami. So yeah, that is the current status quo. Let's see what the morning is going to bring. Good morning, JD, Austrian Wolf, Jinshin, aloha, Maxine, goedemorgen, Jackie, goedemorgen, Andrew, good morning, Erik, goedemorgen, Captain Adibos, good morning, or good evening I should say, Maria, good evening, Gosse, goedemorgen, John, good morning, Ronald, goedemorgen, Alvin, Skyna, mate, welcome to the show, good to see you, mate. Vinny, good morning. Killer Spieler, good morning. Leen, goedemorgen. MW, MMW, good morning, goedemorgen. Oh, Alvin, thank you so much. A super chat, 10 Australian dollars for 10k, congrats. Thank you so much. And thank you all for your support, 10k. Unfortunately not during the live stream, but on an off day, so unfortunately we weren't able to welcome the 10,000th subscriber live, but there you go, incredible. Camille, salut mon ami, good to see you again, hope all is well. Mrs. Professor, good morning. And congratulations, Mrs. Professor, who celebrates 2 months of membership, saying congrats on 10k subs, 25k up next. Indeed, 5 figures down, 1 to go. And thank you for your continued support, Mrs. Professor. Thank you so much. Mojave, good morning. Rafael, good morning. All right, I hope I am up with the chat right now. Let me get up. Now, what I also noticed, very interesting, is that there are birds in the water over here. They're not at Polderbaan, but they are in big numbers visible over here. We have a couple of coots. And we have one more coot over here. And there are more around the corner, even more, also ducks I believe, as I was walking up here. Only barely visible, a gentleman duck up ahead. So this is the big picture. This is where airplanes landing on runway 27 will come from, hopefully later in the morning. And the sun is out, looking to the east. This is looking to the bizzjet part of the platform, the general aviation platform. You can see a couple of bizzjets in the distance. Quite a few actually. Police helicopters also land over there. Now, big picture wise, Schiphol itself. And we have one airplane ready at the threshold of the runway, which I think should be KLM flight 1993 and E2 Embraer 195 going to Krakow. Flight radar doesn't see it lined up already, but I think it is this airplane. Martin, goedemorgen. Kobe en Jan, goedemorgen. Leo, goedemorgen. Johan, goedemorgen. Johan tuning in all the way from Kaapstad. Welcome to the show, mate. Beautifully illuminated by the morning sun. You can see moisture on the tarmac. We did have rain overnight, quite a lot actually. Yesterday too, a lot of rain. It has been one of the wettest 6 weeks since we are keeping track of the weather in the Netherlands, since 1907 or something. Now, I also found a how-to on how to break open the DJI mic, both the transmitter and receiver. So I already succeeded in opening up the case, and I know what model battery is needed to replace it. I have ordered one, so I hope that pretty soon I will be able to go for more than 3.5 hours without having to pull in the USB plug into the DJI mic receiver, which recently has been necessary a few times because otherwise the voiceover would go dead. Wear of the battery, but that problem should be sorted pretty soon. Hey there, James Mail, good morning. Good to see you. Frits, goedemorgen. Hope everybody is doing alright. We're watching Transavia lining up. Flight 5819, Boeing 737-800, going to Bari. Hey there, Veldi, guten Morgen. Ahmad, good morning. Welcome to the show, one and all. Hope everybody is doing alright. Now, look at that not yet. About to announce the arrival of a pair of ducks, but I will show you them in a minute. Hey there, Will McTee, good morning. Tuning in all the way from Dubai, where that yellow orb in the sky is probably also out already, but the temperatures are probably a bit more cozy. Right, Transavia on its way to Bari. And where these two are up to, I don't know, but so nice to see birds in the water again after having missed them for such a long time. Right, well, also activity going on over here, so a couple of departures, not from the runway threshold but from further away. I'm also hearing an Airbus A330, which is, let me have a look, KLM Flight 573 going to Kilimanjaro, Airbus A330-200, undoubtedly on its way to the runway threshold. Lining up on that threshold as we speak is KLM Flight 1793 going to Munich, a Boeing 737-900. Now unfortunately that mound of grass is still in the way, but this is the very threshold of the runway, of runway 18 left. KLM Flight 1793, Boeing 737-900, 19 years old already. First flight was in April 2004. Hey Johan, good morning. Nice weather in Cape Town, sunny with no clouds and a pleasant 25 degrees C. That's nice. But then again, summer is coming, of course. You guys are having spring right now, as is Alvin down under. Good morning Blackburst, FJWH, goedemorgen. FJWH tuning in from sunny Tenerife, undoubtedly. I am assuming it is sunny there. Hey there Campero, good morning and thank you so much. Jewestein, goedemorgen. Alright. Ooh, now the whole squad is complete, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, and of course, you know what I'm referring to when you see the traces of a bird diving under. You could probably guess already what I was trying to point the camera to. there you are. Gotcha. KLM A330-200. And the water tower of Aalsmeer in the background. Which my buddy Gosse and I climbed not too long ago. 2 years ago or something, I think it was. Very nice view of Schiphol and also the area surrounding Aalsmeer. Definitely recommend it if you're ever in the vicinity. And Ahmad, thank you so much for just becoming a member of the Aurora Sky Lounge. Thank you for your support. Welcome to the club. All the custom emojis now at your disposal. Thank you so much, Ahmad. Hope that you will stay in the lounge for many more months to come. And if you're liking what you're seeing, don't forget to drop a like. It's getting busy. Traffic going to the runway threshold. We have 2 KLM airplanes already on the move. And a third one is already lined up. This is KLM flight 1373 going to Bucharest, Boeing 737-800, 12 years old, first flight March 2011. Hey Ben, goedemorgen. GCL Streams, good morning. Janus, good morning. Good to see you again. Hope all is well in Greece. Alessia, good morning. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Hey Miss Wolves, good morning. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Got a little tow truck from Transavia, it seems like, passing by over here. That is definitely a tow truck. It's going to meet up with another tow truck further ahead. Interesting. Now, not sure if... No, these are all coots. So I'm not sure if Russell also migrated to the vicinity of Meccas, but of course this is where you can get some food, I think. Also these birds. And the Coast Guard just took off from runway 22, the Dash 8-100. And that is probably the reason traffic is now waiting a little bit. Intersecting runway tracks. A350 on the move. That's probably an arriving airplane going to the gate. this is the Embraer 190 going to Marseille. Where is it? The A350 is indeed an arriving airplane, has landed and came from Detroit. Delta Airlines flight 136 is what this would be. I'm also seeing a 777, a Chinese 777 behind it. But that is being towed by the looks of it. Or is this the Embraer 190 going to Marseille? Not all traffic is visible on flight radar, it seems like. Or is I think these are two airplanes that are not visible on, well, the previous one and this one don't show on flight radar, because there is still an Embraer waiting at the threshold, and flight radar says that that is an Embraer 190 going to Marseille. So I'm not sure where this one and the previous one went to, or are going to, I should say. Now, looking towards runway 0624. Not a lot of cargo jets parked, but we do see the Martin Air 747 over there. Now, is this then the Embraer 190 to Marseille? I don't know. My flight radar says that the Embraer 190 to Marseille is still standing at the threshold, but there are no airplanes left now, so I'm thinking this might be the one. Is my flight radar still working? I do see movement on the platform. Odd. Hey Lance, good morning mate. Hope all is well, good to see you again buddy. Heinelkon, good morning, and says the plane before was to Graz. Steven, goedemorgen. Hedgecat, good morning. Jillard, goedemorgen. Jillard says Dash 8 from Avanti Air is going to land on Schiphol Oostbaan. Awesome. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Oh yeah, the Dash 8 is now approaching Amsterdam North, the city ring. Looking behind me if I can see something already, but I don't see it just yet. I think once it is over Amsterdam South, I will probably see it. Thanks for the heads up, Gillard. I will keep my eye on that airplane. Now, need to pinch and zoom again. Have another look. Again, I am not seeing where this airplane is supposed to be going to. I'm not seeing it on flight radar. That was a bit of a letdown today. Hey there Nick, good morning. KLM 12Q to Lyon, thank you Steven. And Sir Grebes a lot is right here in the water in front of me. Diving for fish probably. So nice to see activity in the water again right in front of me. Now, Dash 8 arriving from the northeast, arriving on the Oostbaan, runway 22. I think I have it. let's see. This is the best way to turn around so the camera and the wires don't get tangled. All right, there we go. So this is Avanti Air, arriving from London, BQH-8 400. Gosse, didn't you used to fly on the Dash 8 400? I think you did, didn't you? Avanti Air, de Havilland Dash 8 400, 19 years old, first flight January 2004. Going to land on the Schiphol Oostbaan runway 22. We will see it go behind the trees shortly, momentarily, but we should have a clear view of the arrival itself. Interestingly enough, there used to be a little house over here, an aftakhuisje in Dutch. Not sure what the English equivalent for that is, but they tore it down. So there's no longer a cover from wind whenever it gets stormy and we have a western storm, storm from the west, with wind blowing from the west. Always nice to see turboprops land. Don't see that very often anymore. So this airplane is landing on runway 22, the Schiphol Oostbaan, the tiniest of them all. Can you hear that? Even have the coots making a bit of noise. Hey there, Father Norman, good morning, good to see you again. Hope all is well. Of course, that goes for everybody. I hope everybody is having fun too. Hey there, Tony, good morning. And thank you, Andrew, who says, good news, spot boy. Well, it was born out of necessity, of course, with the Polderbaan being closed this week for maintenance until next week, Wednesday, I believe it is. And we're lucky with the prevailing wind, which has been from the south, southwest, southeast for weeks on end now. My hope is that when this runway closes again, I'm talking about 18 left, where this airplane is now taking off from. RW27 will open as secondary runway for arrivals, so we can see airplanes land right in front of us, coming from the direction of the McDonald's. That was the case over the last 3 days since Polderbaan has been closed. So I'm hoping it is going to be like that today as well. Geekaboe, morgen! And Tony is tuning in from O'Hare in Chicago. So that is 7 hours earlier than it is over here. Right now it is just past 10. And the maintenance hangars are also on the other side of the airfield. So you will regularly see airplanes being towed to the hangars or from the hangars back to the gate. Here we see an Embraer 190 being towed away. Also an airplane lining up to take off. That is an E2, which is probably going to Nantes, flight 1455. A 1-year-old E2. First flight January 2022. Howdy Arnoud, goedemorgen. And good morning Maria Teresa Cotri Mancini Furian. So many names, beautiful. Welcome and good morning to you too. Very early for you in Brazil. Or still up late, of course. Hey Patrick, goedemorgen. Elias, good morning. Texas, good morning. Hey Paul, good morning. So this is the airplane getting towed to the hangar for maintenance. In the background you can see the hangars. You can also see other airplanes being parked outside. Quite a few actually if we pan a little bit more to the right. Maintenance hangars from KLM. TUI as well. Quite a big chunk of the fleet being parked out there. And again, as I was showing you before, also quite a few bizzjets over at the general aviation part of the platform. Now I don't see Max Verstappen's jet just yet, but that doesn't mean he won't park there when he does come to the Netherlands. Alvin asks, would you consider returning to this location even when Polderbaan reopens? Well, it all depends on the runway usage made. This now is a more busy location than it normally would be with Polderbaan open. The runway configuration today is different from what it is normally. Normally this is a very interesting location to be standing when you have storm from the west, because runway 0927 is then being used primarily together with 24 and 22. And when you have normal operations, the only thing you can see from here is departures from 18 left when that is being used for departures. You don't see runway 27 being used for arrivals that often, and particularly not interchangeably. So again, with the location at the threshold, the northern threshold of 18C in the summer, that was because the Cargolux 0624 was closed for maintenance back then. Only because it was one of the runways was closed did you have more traffic, and was it an interesting location to be standing at. When it isn't storming, this location is not that interesting because you will see only traffic for an hour or so, and then it is nothing again, or traffic in the distance for an hour. So that is why it all depends on the wind and also on whether or not maintenance is being performed on one of the runways. Hey there Pablo, good morning. Tuning in from near JFK. Gonzali, good morning. Now this is another airplane I'm not seeing on flight radar. Even though I have traffic outbound from AMS activated, inbound and outbound. Or is that, oh, I think, yeah, it's lagging, not lacking with CK but double G. That is the Embraer 190 to Warsaw. Flight 9955. Right. Looks like a Dreamliner is getting pulled back to the gate. One airplane comes, the other goes. You can even see a few contrails here and there in the distance, but it is a little bit milky in the sky today. There's definitely an airplane also flying out there. Oh, and am I hearing a helicopter? I am. Lifeliner. There we go. So that is one of the trauma helicopters that we have in the Netherlands for medical emergencies. Used to have its location, its what's the name? It's a place it took off and landed on the rooftop of the VU Medical Center in Amsterdam, but because of the noise the helicopter often created, they moved its site to the port area of Amsterdam, more northerly, still in the vicinity, relatively speaking. Hey Bart, goedemorgen. Sadie Daddy, Sadidi, good morning. Now, they're taking their time, it seems like, not sure why. Another heavy is getting towed in the vicinity, in the direction of the maintenance hangars. Airbus A330. All right. Let's have another look at the current status quo, shall we? So right now there is a 747 in Dutch airspace, and let's have a look at omgevingsinfo Schiphol. Have a look. It is going to Zwanenburgbaan 18C, so unfortunately we are not going to see it land. Current runway usage at the moment still unchanged. Weather also probably hasn't changed significantly. Wind still from the south-southwest, below 10 knots. Hardly any clouds. What is the rain doing? The latest 3-hour extrapolation shows that we should stay dry until the A380 has landed, which is now flying over Romanian airspace and is expected at 12:22 local time. We also have 2 747s arriving from the west. Not sure if we are going to see them in the first place, but expected around 11:35 and 12 o'clock. So yeah, we'll have to see. Now, Transavia 737 from the left on the move. Is that a departing or is that an arriving airplane? Not seeing it. I did have, yeah, both inbound and outbound Amsterdam. Really not seeing a lot of the airplanes that you see on the move on Flight Radar today. But that one is definitely going to take off. Right, well, I'm not seeing it on Flight Radar still. A day where a lot of the traffic is not visible on Flight Radar. And good morning to Anne and to Veerle. Veerle says, I'm standing behind you. I'm absolutely not seeing anybody behind me. But if you are in the vicinity, do come up and say hi. And good morning to Inda, Jumar, Jadi, to Guy, Big Al, good morning mates. Ah, the white polo, now I see you. Awesome. The VW polo, I was already looking for people, but I had to look for a car. Right, now the Transavia has put the transponder on and we can see it. It is flight 5749, a 737-800 going to Casablanca. 13 years old, first flight May 2010. In the meantime, KLM is taking off, not from the threshold, but a bit further down the runway, which is KLM flight 1701 going to Madrid, 737-800. And photobombed by a Dreamliner, which is still standing at the same location as it was 5 minutes ago. I'm not exactly sure why they do that. And also looks like Austrian might take off first. It is now also lining up. Let's see. I thought I saw an oh yeah, there it is. This is Austrian flight 372 A320 going to Vienna. A320-200. First flight September 2013, so that makes it 10 years old. Asking about a buzzard on that post. What post would that be? Right. Now, there's also a 777 to Zanzibar, which will take off in a few moments. That is moving to the runway threshold, where first room has to be made. I think, judging, well, yeah, Transavia is going to go next. Alright, next up is going to be the 777. Jens, goedemorgen. This is the 777. Will it be next? I'm not sure. We also have another 777 from Qatar over here going to Doha. And that is also very much looking like taking off from this runway. And I think... no, this is the right airplane. This is going to be the next airplane. Going to Bordeaux? No, not yet. It is busy. They're all taking off further down the runway. This is the Embraer 192 Florence. The 737 to Bordeaux will probably be the next one, and then hopefully two triples, double triple time on 18 left. There we go. I'm still missing that buzzer that Tony keeps referring to. Right, well, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. It is double triple time now, I think. Don't see any other airplanes lining up on the runway. So I think... yeah, it's pulling up. leaving a trail of spray behind it. And of course even more during rotation. Right, well, the Qatar has also lined up in the meantime. Probably won't have to wait long for the wake turbulence to dissipate, being a heavy as well. So let's quickly have a look at it. This is Qatar Cargo, flight 8156, 777 freighter, 4 years old. First flight was in August 2019. Hey there, Danny, good morning. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. Now, big picture-wise, we have more airplanes coming to the threshold, probably. Definitely a few more departures upcoming. Just having a quick look. Oh, and the Dreamliner that was getting towed is now continuing on its way to the gate. It's no longer standing here. Air Serbia, one of the next airplanes. KLM 737, but not before Qatar. This time of day, of course, with the sun from the left illuminating the livery and the spray. Wat zeg je? Ben ik? Nee, wil niet. Oh, oké. Nou, als je daar wat over hoort, mijn e-mailadres staat op mijn About pagina. Okay, apparently people are looking to reach out to me for doing something airside. Well, if that is true, then if you're watching, head out to my About page and you will find my contact details. Jency Boy also here, right behind me, enjoying the views over here. Our next airplane to take off is probably going to be this Air Serbia airplane, which was on flight radar and now has gone off it again. I think it was going to go to Belgrade. Am I the only one who is having hiccups with flight radar right now? Because right now I'm looking at the 737 from KLM as the first airplane at the threshold, which is not true because the Air Serbia is already lined up, as you guys can see. Yeah, Jens is having the same problem. Oh, and Anna, yeah, the About page is, I think when you go to the channel page, you have to click. So there are some links. I think that is now the replacement of the About page. Air Serbia going to Belgrade. It was on the radar just now, but not anymore. It is an A320 by the looks of it. And it looks like we might have traffic skipping the line, perhaps, not sure. Bird control vehicle also visible, lights on, runway inspection by the looks of it. That is typically preceding a reopening, so we might actually start seeing arrivals from the east landing on the runway that this vehicle is now driving on. K3, the Raptor Ranger, And you're also hearing this airplane take off from runway 24, A777 in the distance. Right, well, no airplane skipping ahead, it seems like. We do still have K3 doing the inspection. Okay, Jens is already informing us that there are already airplanes on the way to land on runway 27, so we are going to see arrivals from Meccas shortly. These will probably be the last airplanes to take off, and then probably it's an hour or so, maybe a bit more, of arrivals. Too bad that the two 747s that are now underway are coming in from the west. They are probably most likely going to land on 18C. I'm very much curious to see what the A380 is going to do. The last 3 days since Polderbaan has been closed, 2 out of 3 times it landed on runway 27. Wouldn't that be something? Then again, ATC might also think, oh, there's that guy again, let's have it land on 18C. Would not be surprised if they would do that, but we'll see. KLM Flight 1975 going to Budapest, 737-800. 23 years old, first flight November 2000. And good morning to everybody who has joined us in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are standing here adjacent to runways 27 and 18 left. 18 left is still being used for departures for a few more minutes, but runway 27 is going to open up pretty soon for arrivals. So we're at a top-notch location in that respect. The prevailing wind, south-southwest, handful of knots, less than 10 knots actually. Seven in the distance, which probably has landed on 18C, which is currently the primary runway for arrivals. Runway 27 being used as a secondary runway, and runway 27 being used as secondary runway for arrivals. Okay. Yeah. Well, pretty soon the arrival rush hour is going to begin. Another airplane not visible on flight radar today, but it is a tiny 737-700 obviously. Most likely the last airplane to take off from this runway is going to be the next one, which is from Swiss A321 going to Zurich. Swiss flight 725 A321 going to Zurich in a few moments. The airplane is 7 years old. First flight was in February 2016. Hey Jelmer, goedemorgen. Jelmer tuning in from the north, Heerenveen. Bizjet also taking off. Runway 22, which is why the Swiss is holding short, intersecting runways. And meanwhile K3 over here. Not getting a wave. But that's okay. We're definitely a bit further away from them over here. Might still see a 777 depart to Johannesburg, it seems like. Opus 90 from General Electric will be played again pretty soon, it seems like. And bom dia Marcos, who is tuning in from Brazil. Liam, good morning. All other viewers as well, good morning to you all. Hope you guys are having fun. Right, this is the last airplane, very likely to take off from 18 left. KLM 777-200 going to Johannesburg, flight 591. And this 777-200ER is 17 years old, had its first flight in February of the year 2006. And after that we are going to have to turn the camera to the other side for arrivals from the east. Say yeah? Ah, Sparta has landed. Oh wait, it is coming. We can actually still see it a little bit. Huh. We'll probably see it in the background then. I think we should see the Suparna enter the field of view from the right in a moment, in the background. Or are we? Yeah, there we go, the tail. Run 1 after the departure of this airplane over. And round 2 is going to be arrivals. Sardinia southwest says ciao from Sardinia. Ciao, benvenuti, benvenuto. Now Transavia on the move. Where is it? A bit more to the left. Is that also going to take off? It looks like it. It is also going to take off. Just when you think they're the last airplanes, there's still another one. Transavia flight 6729 going to Seville. 737-800, 7 years old, first flight March 2016. say? Ah. First airplane landing on runway 27 is also about to touch down. Dankjewel voor de heads up. I was so focused on the airplane on one side that I did not see the next airplane, and I can see that the next is already coming. So just have another look at this departure, and then it's going to be the focus on Meccas. So this is Transavia to Seville, and left of us arriving is a KLM 737-800 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Oké, cool. Waar is dat? Waar is dat? Ah, oké. En die komt hier naartoe?
Nee.
Oh. Ah, oké. First test flight. Oké. I thought we might get to see it.
Even van zo'n feest.
Unfortunately not. Well, what we do get to see is this next airplane. It is an A320neo from ITA Airways, flight 108, arriving from Rome. The airplane has taken an hour and 52 minutes to get here thus far, and it is brand new, meaning less than a year old. And also for this runway we have glide slope shots. The next airplane behind it is also already visible. This A320neo started flying in December 2022. The airplane behind it is a Turkish A330 arriving from Istanbul. Jerry, morning mate. Breaking news on Jägermeister shots during Polderbaan closure. Absolutely. Well, only just now. Probably more separation behind this Turkish A330. It is flight 1951 arriving from Istanbul. Flight time thus far 3 hours and 7 minutes, so that is nominal. The airplane is 10 years old. It had its first flight in November of the year 2013. Oh, bizzjet taking off from runway 22. Too bad I wasn't able to catch them together. France taking off? No, but this one is. That is. Bulgaria Air to Sofia, A220-300, flight 462. Brand new, again flying in July 2023. And also looks like an Air France A220 is lining up. So for the moment, both 18 left is open and runway 27 has also opened up for arrivals. Another bizzjet, turboprop taking off. Is that a Pilatus PC-12? I think it might be. Air France A220-300 going to Paris, Charles de Gaulle, flight 1341. Hey there, Brian, good morning. Good to see you, buddy. Big Al asks, what time am I finishing? Well, my plan is to stick around until the A380 has set foot on Dutch ground, which is expected to be around 12:30 or so. And if the weather extrapolations, the radar are correct, not long thereafter it should also start raining again. So I think that would be an appropriate moment to wrap up. Hoping, of course, that today the A380 is going to land on runway 27 right in front of us, just like the thumbnail picture. Although it is a standard livery coming to the Netherlands today, not the journey to the future, but I didn't have a different thumbnail at my disposal. Is that airplane lined up? I think it is. Vueling A320 going to Barcelona. Flight 8301, 16-year-old airplane, first flight November 2007. Coming from the other side is a landing airplane, KLM 737, for which I need to zoom out on flight radar, so I'm not able to give you the details yet. Seven 700 arriving from Geneva. Also hearing a chopper. Police helicopter probably. Is there activity going on over there? Not yet. I do hear a helicopter. Or I was hearing a helicopter, I should say. Take off, okay. Yeah, I think I see it. Yeah. Police helicopter taking off for patrol. Alright, next up EasyJet A320 arriving from Napoli. Austrian registered A320 underway for 2 hours and 4 minutes, 7 years old, first flight August 2016. Hey George, goedemorgen. And Tiger, good morning. Lucas, good morning. All other viewers, good morning to you all. Hope you guys are having a little bit of fun over here. We're standing adjacent to runway 27, which is now being used for arrivals, but runway 18 left, where we're also adjacent to, is still open for departures. We also see airplanes land and take off from runway 22 every now and then. Schiphol Oostbaan, helicopters here and there. Bustling Schiphol Airport at its finest. Kevin H, good morning. Got another ITA Airways coming, arriving from Milan. Up next. Not seeing anything in immediate vicinity going on. The Suparna 747 in the meantime has arrived at the parking. Embraer 190 taking off. But let us focus on the arrival of the beautiful Azzurro ITA Airways flight 120 A320 arriving from Milan. Flight time 1 hour and 18 minutes. The airplane is 13 years old. First flight of this airplane was December 2009. And Bugatti says, same color as my Ducati. That is interesting. Normally they are red often. Jerry says pot plants growing in the lawn. Well, I'm pretty sure that we have greenhouses for that, to better control the relevant variables. But it could be, wouldn't be surprised, for the fibers or something. Why not? Morgen Gabi, herzlich willkommen. Looks like a lot. Embraer is going to take off from 18 left. Going to Warsaw, Embraer 195, regular livery, flight 266. Embraer 195 long range, 13 years old, first flight January 2010. Arriving from the east is a KLM Embraer 175 arriving from Zurich. KLM flight 1954 arriving from Zurich. Flight time 1 hour and 14 minutes. And the ITA taxiing back to the gate. KLM A330 coming this way. And that is a United Dreamliner by the looks of it, being parked out there. Just left of the tunnel. Right behind the left A330. And there's another KLM A330 coming back. So all the heavies unfortunately landing on 18C at the moment. Not seeing anything coming this way in the immediate vicinity. Let's have another look at the status quo, shall we? Also have a look at the... First of all, let's have a look at the runway usage. Runway usage right now, it is everything in use except Oostbaan officially. The METAR at the moment, basically the same. Let me copy paste the latest METAR so that I can paste it into the ticker. The rain extrapolation for the next 3 hours. Little bit of rain, it says around 10 past 1. Yeah, but we are going to see more precipitation later in the day. The A380 is now in Slovakian airspace and is at the moment expected to arrive 25 minutes past 12. And we have 2 747s that are also coming this way. So that is the current status quo. Let me also update the ticker then, paste that METAR into it so that you guys can read it back. Have another look at it whenever it passes in the bottom of the screen, and runway usage is still accurate. Alrighty. Also, if you're liking what you're seeing, don't forget to drop a like, and if you want to stay updated of when I'm going live, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you get notified beforehand. Movement of airplanes, they look to be going to either gates or runway 24. And beautiful view on the Martin Air Cargo 747 over there in the distance. DHL, former DHL probably, A330 by the looks of it. Of course the Suparna that has landed earlier this morning. And I think this airplane might be taking off from runway 24 shortly. Let's have a look on flight radar. That is a 777 going to Cape Town. Pity that it isn't taking off from this runway right here. Now there's also a contrail directly coming towards us from the northeast, it looks like. Twin jet by the looks of it. It is coming directly towards us, as you guys can see. Might have to look back at that later when it is a bit closer by. Ooh, Singapore Airlines A350 on the move. Aer Lingus Düsseldorf to Dublin. That the virtual augmented reality feature is really nice indeed. Jency boy right behind me still, and he is using his phone with the augmented reality utility from Flight Radar to see that where the control is going to and coming from. Now, this A350 will be going to Singapore from runway 24. unfortunately. Alright, the 777 is ready to go from runway 24. Okay, a few more minutes for the next arrival. Far still to the left, right. Now, if you ever come to visit Schiphol Airport and you are coming by airplane, make sure to have a look at the panorama flight deck. Even though it is fenced off more and more these days, you can still have a look at a Fokker airplane, which you can see in the center of the screen. If you have children, they will love it. They can enter it. Also, adults will love it too, but children most of all. The coots have come a bit closer in the grass on the other side, grazing. They were further away, but they are a bit more closer by now. There's actually quite a few of them here. Oh, it's eating a crayfish, it looks like. Getting your protein in. I'm also hearing a bizzjet taking off from runway 22. So while not open for public transportation, it is open for bizzjets and the likes of the Coast Guard. The Singapore A350 is also nearing the departure runway, runway 24. And indeed, Norwegian will probably be the next airplane. Lovely sight though. .747 from Suparna Airlines arrived from Hefei on 18 Center earlier in the morning. Also some arriving airplanes that have landed on 18 Center. Some easy jets by the looks of it. The airplane in the middle will be taking off first. but the A350 from Singapore Airlines is moving, ready to line up. Now in the meantime, inbound traffic on runway 27 is also coming this way. We are going to expect a grumpy face from Norwegian up next. Fridtjof Nansen, arriving from Stockholm, 737-800, which I'm not yet seeing. Oh wait, yeah, it is already coming this way. Let's have a look-see. Good morning, Madeira Aviation. Right. A little bit to the right, there we go. So this is Norwegian flight 84533, arriving from Stockholm, where it departed an hour and 42 minutes ago. The airplane is 12 years old. Its first flight was in November 2010. And the Transavia in the old standard livery. And that's also coming this way? Yeah. Awesome.
Third plane to arrive.
The third plane to arrive. Thank you, Jens. You might also pick up on the sound of the Singapore Airlines spinning up. I'm hearing the spooling up of an engine that is starting. Is that the triple? Does sound a little like a GE90 spooling up, or starting I should say. Hey there Amy, hey there BHD90. Good morning. Multitasking BHD90, working from home in Belfast and also watching the channel. Great show, mate. Who said that man cannot multitask? Well, I'm assuming you're a guy, but might be wrong. In that case, if you're a woman, it all makes sense now. This is an Embraer 190 from KLM arriving from Nuremberg. Flight 1884. Flight time 57 minutes. Embraer 190, 9 years old. First flight January 2014. There is another airplane behind it. In the far left center, you should be able to make it out. Barely. KLM 737 arriving from Copenhagen, but it is the Transavia previous standard livery with the rainbow colorful stripes. I think KLM rented it from Transavia due to capacity issues. So it is flying for KLM, but it is from Transavia, the airplane. Little wheelie. And the Sheraton Hotel background. So here is the KLM 737-700, the airplane from Transavia, the previous standard livery. It's 737-700, flying for KLM as KLM Flight 1126 from Copenhagen. Flight time 1 hour and 1 minute. The airplane is 20 years old. First flight was in February 2003.
Zulu arriving as well in the meantime.
Sorry?
The Zulu.
Oh yeah, the police helicopter returning. Left of the Mecca sign, which we should be able to pick up on shortly after this airplane has landed. Right, in the meantime, K4 is also at the premises. Driving through puddles. That is something you can also do with those Rangers. Those Raptor Rangers, Ranger Raptors. Ah, this is a different police helicopter than we saw take off earlier. This is the blue and white. They always land behind the fence, the windscreen, the noise screen, whatever it is. Or they land right of it and taxi back to there. That's where the parking is. Also seeing a murmuration of birds over here. Beautiful. Just not the location where you want to see it, right over the airfield. Oh, they split in two. Well, always something to do here. Now, thank you so much, Dexus, for your super chat. Dexus writes, mag wel een keer na al die uren kijkplezier, which translates to about time after all those hours of having fun watching. Thank you so much, Dexus, very much appreciated. Here's to many more hours of watching and enjoyment to come. Alright, German Airways Embraer 190 flying for KLM, arriving from Stuttgart. A United Dreamliner on the move. Sorry?
Dash 8.
Dash 8? Where? Oh! Oh! Well, let's also have another look at the next incoming traffic, which should be Iberia Express A321neo arriving from Madrid. Also a very, very big thank you to Jerry for your super chat, who says the McDonald's is growing faster than the trees. Well, McDonald's always does well, doesn't it? They're definitely doing well over here in the Netherlands, although as a vegetarian I have to say I like the burgers from the other big brand better than from McDonald's. So this is Iberia Express, flight 3722, A321neo, arriving from Madrid, 2 hours and 5 minutes of flight time. Brand new airplane, first flight June 2023. Tell that the wind is starting to pick up a little bit. Now let's have a look. Embraer 175 arriving from Frankfurt will be next to land on runway 27. And all the departures seem to be going to runway 24 at the moment. Right. This is KLM flight 1764, Embraer 175, arriving from Frankfurt, where it left 40 minutes ago. A 5-year-old airplane that had its first flight in February 2018. Let's have a look and see what is going to come next. A321neo from Pegasus, arriving from Istanbul. Embraer 175, arriving from Hanover. Whole slew of narrow bodies. Celeste is asking where I'm standing. I'm standing adjacent to runway 27 and also adjacent to the runway 18 left.
We got a little wave.
Also a bird control vehicle in the form of a van. H1 VW van transporter. Me personally, I do like the Raptor Rangers better. Can definitely begin to see more waves in the water, more ripples. Let's have another look at the METAR in a minute, see what the wind has been doing. It has been under 10 knots thus far, but I think it might have picked up to a little bit more than that in the meantime. Last minute reverser action. The white-nosed A330 over there. Let's have a look at the METAR, shall we? So, yeah, this airplane we are not going to see, unfortunately. We have the Emirates A380 flying in the vicinity of Prague. Current runway usage is okay. Yeah, 18 left has been closed in favor of runway 24 only, and the METAR says still a 9-knot wind from 190 degrees. Still CAV okay, no significant changes expected. will update the ticker in a minute. 3-hour weather extrapolation. What does it say? Little bit of moisture. If it doesn't evaporate, around 1 o'clock, 1:30. So that is well after the A380 has landed. So we should be safe until then. And right, the new meter into the ticker, paste. Oh, did something. Oh, no, 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 no. Did something with the font that I didn't want. There we go. Back to what it was. Just cancel it. Save. Okay, firefighters are approaching with sirens on. We'll have to have a see what is going on then. First, Pegasus.
Newest in the fleet, delivered 27th of October.
Ah, the newest airplane in their fleet, delivered October 27th. More firefighters. They were also. There's an emergency, yeah. So the SALZBURG aviation bizzjet returning to what runway? Looks like it is on the course for runway. Oh, for the Oostbaan. Okay. Emergency. Ja.
Ambulance, dat goed. Oh jezus. Mijn god. Ik zou hier voor in de gaten houden.
Little bit. So we already have a police vehicle, I think it is, with all kinds of medical emergency services coming this way for a returning flight, which is expected to land on Schiphol Oostbaan. And indeed, then he says MOZ 731 returning, expected to land on runway 22. I've been told. Ambulances, firefighters. Right, we have a red label on flight radar. Number 1, worldwide most followed, arriving back, Salzburg Jet Aviation, Cessna 560 XL Citation XLS, will be landing on the runway 22. I'm not seeing it yet, but it will arrive from that part of the sky shortly. In the meantime, regular traffic still landing here. Let's see, can we see where those emergency services have gone to? Let's scan the perimeter.
Recht aan de overkant. Staan ze op z'n allen op een rijtje, 4 man. 4 stuks.
Yeah, there they are. So the emergency services all ready for MOZ731 that is returning. And typically when someone is having a cardiac arrest, you will send 2 ambulances, so could be a cardiac issue, could also be a multi-patient issue. But at least in the Netherlands we always send 2 ambulances whenever a resuscitation situation is necessary or is going on. Try to enable digital zoom, shall we? Have a little closer look. The backlight doesn't work in our favor today, but we still have some time before the airplane actually becomes visible. Right, so 1 firefighter, 2, 3, 4. That's just the firefighters. Don't see the ambulances just yet. Right, well, the citation is approaching. Jens, zou je een klein beetje opzij kunnen gaan? Dank je. No worries. But you are a tall guy. And my camera is not mounted that high. Let's see. First of all, let's have a look if I can see it visually already. Then I know where to point the camera to. It should be somewhere in this area of the sky. Now, not exactly a celebratory situation going on, but thank you, Jerry, for your super chat. You're absolutely right, those big ass trucks normally sound the horn under much happier circumstances. And also, Josephine, thank you so much for your super chat. The same in Sweden with regards to cardiac arrests and resuscitations.
Het lijkt er iets aan de linkerkant. Even voor wat zit er.
Ja, got it. So this is the medical emergency returning. Salzburg Jet Aviation should have been going to Malmö, but it is returning now. Left 26 minutes ago. I think we might have seen it take off actually. The airplane is 16 years old. First flight's January 2007. Number 1 worldwide most tracked. 3,896 people are also looking at the airplane movement. Need to enable digital zoom when image stabilizer to get the image a bit more stable when zoomed out so much, zoomed in so much. So are the emergency services coming? Yeah. Ambulance is moving, the firefighters are moving. The whole lot is there. They're not doing much, are they? Did the patient already pass away, or? Firefighters seem to be returning. Why are they all standing there? That's weird. Sorry? Oeh. I agree, Lance, that doesn't look very good. The lack of haste. I'm also seeing one of the ambulances returning, which will probably pass in front of us shortly. Now, aren't the doors on all these airplanes on the left side of the, yeah, looking at the picture, I'm not seeing any doors. And here is the ambulance with great speed returning. So at least one apparently no longer is deemed to be necessary, which means that there's probably no CPR situation going on. Where was it? Oh, the airplane is continuing its taxi. The firefighters are not sure what they are doing. Nou, gaat waarschijnlijk 18 links weer open voor vertrek. Right, well, not exactly sure what is going on here. The airplane that just landed with an emergency. No emergency services have entered the vehicle. It stood still for a little while and now it is taxiing to what seems like the parking. One of the ambulances already returned to base a couple of minutes ago with high speed. Right, more vehicles returning. Second ambulance now also returning. So if this was a medical emergency, then it no longer seems to be the case. If it was a different type of emergency, we're still none the wiser. Firefighters are also returning. Bird control vehicle is also returning. Also have an airplane landing. Oh, that was K4 waving. Nee, nog niet gezien. And here we have the other emergency services returning. Emergency stairs. And a 747 landing on 18C. Medical helicopter also passing by. Then again, that doesn't necessarily have to mean anything because their base is in the port area these days. So this is, if they have to go somewhere, one of the routes they often fly over, just so that the question is it going to continue its way or will it take a left-hand turn to land at Schiphol Oost? Does look like it is continuing to a different medical emergency. Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a very interesting situation. Not yet sure what happened there. Initially it looked like it might be a medical emergency, but now all of a sudden it doesn't look like something medical going on. Let's have a look. The runway we saw the airplane land on will close, so I am expecting another firefighter returning. I'm expecting runway 18 left to reopen soon for departures. Let's have a little look. Zooming in a little bit. On flight radar. You see airplanes on the move. This is a Delta, no, KLM A330-200 that has arrived from Minneapolis. The Delta A330neo behind it is going to go to Boston. Now, very likely candidate to take off from runway 24. Another bizzjet taking off from runway 22. No, that's not a bizzjet, that's a private jet. But what is that? One of those. Oh, I can't remember the name. Diamond Flyer or something? Yeah, Diamond Flyer. So the Delta has landed. The KLM, sorry. The Delta over here is going to take off shortly. Very likely going to go to the Cargolux runway 24. Let's disable digital zoom again. Typically, the last couple of days, what happened was when runway 27 closed, then runway 18 left reopened for departures. Let's have a look at the runway usage website from Air Traffic Control Netherlands and refresh. Okay, well, that is still outdated. It's always a few minutes behind, but pretty sure we will see more activity soon enough. See some movement left of this airplane. Let's have a look. Air Arabia going to Nador, Air Arabia Morocco. Well, it's not moving to runway 24, so I'm pretty sure that this is going to be the first airplane to take off from runway 18 left in a few minutes. Touch and goes. Is the airplane doing touch and goes? I think it might be. Or is this also a medical emergency? Nah, it's keeping up the speed, it's doing a touch and go, it's doing a few circuits. There you go. Ah, funny, you normally see this only happening at smaller airfields. I have also seen it happen when I was waiting for my departure from Innsbruck, but there you also have sailplanes and private planes, a lot of bizzjets as well. It's not something you see very often happening here, at least. Well, I'm not standing here that often, so maybe you do see it very much and I'm just noticing it just now. This is the first airplane to take off from the now recently reopened runway 18 left. Air Arabia Morocco A320 going to go to Nador. The airplane is 7 years old. Its first flight was in January 2016. The honking you might have heard just now was from one of the bird control vans passing by. Updating the ticker as we speak, 18 left and 24 and 18 C4. Vinny is saying that there is a fire alarm in the airplane as reason for the emergency that the firefighters were called out for. So maybe a technical malfunction on that citation was the reason they returned. Thank you so much, Vinny, for letting us know. Well, an Andrew has to head off. Thank you so much for joining, Andrew. It's been a pleasure to have you on the chat once again. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Hopefully see you again soon. Now, it is 10 minutes to 12 and the A380 was expected in 40 or so minutes from now, 35 to 40 minutes from now. Fingers crossed that runway 27 will reopen by then. I'm not too sure about it. Now, we're going to hear Opus 90 from General Electric in a moment. This is KLM flight 565. Going to Nairobi, 777-300 ER, 15 years old. First flight was in March 2008. That is encouraging news, Ton. Thank you so much. Photo for you, or Ton, letting us know that yesterday at the 380 time almost all landings went to sea, but when the A380 came it landed on runway 27. Fingers crossed that it is going to happen again today. This is the 4th day that the Polderbaan is closed for maintenance, and the previous 3 days, out of the 3 days, the A380 did land on runway 27 twice. I had a look yesterday evening. You're also seeing how more cloudiness is actually coming into the country. This is looking to the west. We're of course standing parallel to runway 0927. This is pointing directly to the west. This is directly pointing to the north. The wind, and at least the rain is going to come from the southwest, so approximately from over there. Nee, pak nog even de triple. Against the still openish backdrop that is still available east of us. No, south of us, sorry. Now I need to get my bearings straight. This is the camera pointing to the east, where the 222 Nairobi is going. Je gaat er van tussen. Hey, dankjewel Jens. Bedankt voor alle informatie die je hebt gegeven. Fijne dag man. Tot de volgende keer. My man Jency boy got cold hands. I still use the hand warmer intermittently in my pocket to keep the hands warm, but allowing me to continue filming barehandedly, which I do prefer whenever possible. Yes, that is a Fokker airplane. That is the rooftop terrace, the panorama terrace. If you are ever at Schiphol Airport, definitely something worth checking out. Now, Anna was asking about registrations. Not sure if I can pick up on them. I will do that in a minute while we're waiting for more traffic, but it's also nice to see the circuit the Diamond Flyer is making, flying base. And turning final. Will we do another touch and go? Probably will do. Maybe it's the first solo of a PPL trainee. If that is the case, we have your flight filmed. Now, I think it is going to be impossible to have a look at the registrations, but I will give it a go. We'll have to enable digital zoom because I'm already fully zoomed in with optical zoom. 400 times digital zoom available on this camera. Let's have a look. See how far we can go. Oh wow, it is somewhat legible. Fixate the tripod. Locks. This is the best I can do, mate. Well, obviously it's PH something something something. But I don't know if you guys can read it. Oh, more murmurations. Also up close. The birds, they're attacking. I'm under attack. They're right over me. There are several groups going in separate directions. Now, we can see something of landings on runway center. Here we have the PHBVD, it looks like. Is that KLM? If it is the PHBVD. 777-300 ER in the SkyTeam livery, which we are not going to be able to follow because of green and a parking lot and more green. Now, are we going to see it re-emerge? Should be somewhere over here. It's been a while since I last have been here, and I think I do see something. Is that the tail? Yeah, it is. Okay, so this is about where we need to point the camera to see it re-emerge. The Diamond is still doing circuits. Another touch and go. Oh, don't get over ambitious with using digital zoom to get it very up close. Does look like a triple is going to take off. Is that moving to the threshold? I think it might be. Let's have a look. 777-200 going to Mumbai. Hey, and also 777-2 Shanghai. Will that go to this runway or will it go to... Now, let's see how far we can zoom in with digital. No. Digital zoom, I have it disabled almost always. For the same reason, I try to film barehandedly as much as possible. Makes for better footage. But for that medical emergency, it was handy to put it on. Jancy is at the Mac. Do you want something? No, thank you, mate. I'm good. But thank you for offering. Were you able to make out the registration, Anna? Obviously, I know the first two letters are PH, but I was not able to make out the last three of the registration. As the 777 is making its way over to the runway threshold, let's have another look and see where the A380 is at. It is approaching Dutch airspace in the vicinity of Münster. Also 747 from Cargolux expected in 13 minutes from now. Now, if you're liking what you're seeing, don't forget to drop a like, and if you want to stay informed about when I'm going live again, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you get notified whenever I plan on going live again. Most likely going to be tomorrow, although it's all weather dependent and also wind dependent now, because if the wind is unfavorable and there's not much to do over here, not sure if parking at Cargolux is on the other side. It's always hard on working days. Weekend days much easier. Hey Gerrit, goedemiddag. Just about. Inderdaad. McDonald's on the side. KLM flight 877, 777-200ER, going to Mumbai. This triple is 18 years old, had its first flight in November 2004. Now, for those of you who are familiar with this location, you'll be interested to know that the aftakhuisje has been removed. It used to be here. Used to be able to put my gear against it and out of the wind when it was storming. They took it down. Right, well, right of me at the threshold we have an Embraer 175 going to Genoa in a few minutes. KLM flight 1563, as we are watching this police helicopter nearly touch down, then do a taxi just above the ground, as helicopters always do. This is taxiing for helicopters, taxiing to the parking and then setting her on the ground. Going to Genoa, Embraer 175, 6 years old, first flight June 2017. And And Ton is informing us that the A380 has been assigned to 18C, so we will have to make do with what we can see from over here, which is still remarkably much, I have to say. But first, the beautiful Azzurro from ITA Airways. A320neo going to Rome. The beautiful airplane. So this is ITA Airways flight 107, A320neo going to Rome. Brand new airplane, first flight December 2022. Bizzjet taking off, so it is holding short for that. Of course, the flight paths intersecting. Now we already saw an EasyJet also approaching the runway threshold to take off behind the ITA Airways, and we are also seeing El and also Darom returning to Bucharest for the time being. China Eastern to Shanghai will be taking off from runway 24, it seems like. Shine, it is a beautiful color in any form of lighting. Actually, one of them was making a lot of noise, so I think we might have one called Russell over here. Now, EasyJet is no longer visible on flight radar. According to flight radar, the first airplane to take off is going to Tel Aviv, but that is the El Al behind it. Jerry is leaving. Jerry, thank you so much for joining again, and thank you for your congratulations. Thank you for all your support all the while. Always a pleasure to have you on the stream. Looking forward to the next one, buddy, and take care. Now, I'm also planning on having a look at a photography store in my own hometown, actually. It was Bart from V1 who pointed me out that they have a tripod for sale, Cartoni Focus 8, and that is exactly, well, it is maybe the smaller sibling of one of the tripods that Kevin from AVL is also using. And I do know Cartoni is a very well-known brand together with Sachtler, the manufacturer of my current tripod. I'm not happy with the panning. I think the drag is too little. Now I am first going to try to get it replaced, the drag mechanism, because you can do that and it isn't too costly. But since there's also a tripod that has a bigger load capacity and is from a very renowned manufacturer for sale in my own hometown, I will have a look, see what it feels like. It's always good to have a heavy tripod, and just curious to see if it is buttery smooth, even with the replacement parts for my Sachtler. Maybe right, the 747 arriving from Miami is approaching runway 18 center. So since this is also what is going to happen with the A380, let us do a little rehearsal. We should be able to see it somewhere in that vicinity pretty soon. Yeah, there it is. So this is also what we are going to see from the A380 landing on 18C. So this is Cargolux Boeing 747-400 arriving from Miami, Florida after 8 hours and 2 minutes, about to land on runway 18 center. It is a 747-400, 16 years old, first flight December 2006. Right, well, the next airplane on the threshold of 18 left is this KLM. But we should also, there we go, see the Atlas 747 in the distance. Well, Gerrit, I am lucky with the weather, but the location, I absolutely did my homework about. Should I go to 24? Should I go to the northern threshold of center? Or should I go to this location? So it's very much thought out of beforehand. And indeed, Ton, I already saw that on bezoekbas.nl. Major maintenance for Cargolux again from February till the end of April. And the last time we had that situation, it was a very busy time at the northern threshold of 18 center. So I'm very much looking forward to that. The other police helicopter is also landing at the general aviation part of the platform. Let's have a look, see where the A380 is. Crossing marker Meer, okay. Means that we have a couple more airplanes before we need to go back to center. Air France up, Embraer 170, another Embraer from KLM. Lined up is Transavia. Transavia flight 5807 going to Thessaloniki in Greece. Getting busy over here, 3 airplanes already and more is coming. Now also vielen Dank Herr Austrian Wolf for your super chat. Austrian Wolf writes, for the tripod, live your dream, thanks for the never ending enthusiasm, great. Thank you so much for that, Austrian Wolf, very much appreciated. I am still going to wait for Bart's repair results. He is also going to, he already ordered the replacement, so the part has been ordered. New drag mechanism for the pan axis. Waiting time was about 2 to 3 weeks. When it arrives, he will go to the store, hand over the tripod, they will fix it for him. So I'm hoping to hear his results in a few weeks, but still thinking maybe if the tripod for sale in my hometown is very good, to go ahead with buying it regardless. Now, I also still have a lot of gear from my astrophotography days years ago, and I remember heavy duty tripods are the best. The heavier, the more resilient against vibrations from wind. Particularly my setup is very sensitive to the wind. So I'm thinking the heavier the better. Which is why I'm very curious to see what it will feel like in real life. And Kakrem Perkasa is asking about the runway, tuning in all the way from Malaysia. First of all, welcome, buddy. And second of all, this is the crossing of runway 18 left, where these airplanes are now taking off from. And we are also standing next to runway 27, which was used for arrivals earlier, but now is closed. I'm also zooming out to see where the A380 is because we don't want to miss it. And have a Canon 1000D DSLR body lying around that I tore open, and well, I opened it up to replace the IR filter with one that is also more suited for astrophotography, letting through the hydrogen alpha wavelengths. I still have a big ass Celestron tripod, very heavy, 2.5-inch legs, extremely heavy but sturdy. And you had a very heavy tripod and a relatively small tube on it, but that worked a treat. So the A380 is turning onto the glide slope of 1/8 center. It should be visible somewhere over there. I'm not sure if we are able to make it out from over here. And I think we have our answer. It has just turned final, but this is it. I actually did not expect that, but oh mate, astrophotography is the most expensive hobby you can have after flying airplanes, I think. I was also a participant of what you back then you had Yahoo groups, and you also had a Benelux group of astrophotographers, and I was so jealous. There were a couple that also, I think they were well off and retired and definitely financially well off. One of them who had a remote dome in not South Africa, but the former German colony. What's it called again, that country? With the capital is Windhoek. And he had a dome in the desert over there that was remotely controllable. So the guy could make astro pictures at night from Belgium, from the computer, controlling a big ass telescope that was in Namibia. Indeed, Namibia. Thank you, Anna. But that is like tens of thousands of euros or dollars, whatever currency denomination you would like to use. That is like I'm pretty sure that you could also buy a very, very, very nice car for that. Anyway, I'm digressing. This is EK flight 147, the daily A380 flight from Dubai to Amsterdam. Standard livery, old standard livery. AMS Live members have access to the latest iteration of the standard livery with the ribbon tail. This is still the old one. Took a bit longer to get here than normal. Normally speaking, when the airplane is flying where it is right now, 6.5 hours or so of flight time. Now it is 6 hours and 48 minutes. The airplane is 8 years old. The first flight was in October 2015. Well, Tiger, the moon is definitely the easiest object to begin with. Although, even when you use a camera like I have and you zoom in, you will notice the movement of the Earth quite rapidly. Using a webcam to image planets or the moon is most suited. Then you can stack the images, make sort of an average. Also gets rid of some of the distortion from the atmosphere, the seeing. I had a tripod, I had a mount and camera setup that was being used for deep sky photography, so you have to also have a follow camera, a secondary follow camera with an off-axis guider to make sure that mirror movements, tiny mirror movements and tiny imperfections in the cogs of the mount were corrected for, so that you could image for 5 minutes, for instance, and get round star images instead of squares or stripes. I could give lectures for hours about the intricacies that become relevant when you're doing that, but I'm not going to bore you guys with that. We're here for the airplanes. And EK147 has landed safely. It is going to come a bit closer to us because the gate is more close by, so we will get to see it a bit more up close shortly. In the meantime, another ITA Airways is taking off over here. Which oddly enough doesn't show on my flight radar screen today, which has happened a lot. Not exactly sure why that is. Right. Now it does show. ITA Airways flight 121 going to Milan. Now you're telling me, you might be thinking, well, yeah, first time I have the label again. Wow, and according to flight radar, the airplane departed 36 minutes ago, so not sure about what those flight time numbers mean, because if it records 36 minutes already, I'm thinking, did they start the clock during pushback already? Now, I'm thinking that this Turkish A330 that is going to go back to Istanbul will be taking off from the runway right here. We're also waiting for the A380 to come towards us. We'll have to park somewhere over here, where also the Turkish was coming from. Somewhere over there. I think I'm going to stick around until the Turkish A330 has taken off, and I think I am going to wrap it up after that. You guys can see this getting overcast over here. Now that is in itself nothing to be concerned about, but the rain is not far away, I think. Am I still having a voice-over mic that is functional? Yeah, it is running empty, and that's the difference. The transmitter is still more than 2/3 full. So using the receiver on each stream really wears the battery. And now also, Runway 27 has also reopened for arrivals, and we have a special livery to begin with from Wood. Ooh, very nice. Now, let me see. What is coming? Oh! Okay, Saudia Dreamliner is also arriving. That is going to land over here. I am going to stick around until the Saudia Dreamliner. That is going to be the last airplane of the day then. Now I'm beginning to wonder, will the Turkish then go to runway 24 and has runway 18 left closed for departures? Let's have another look, shall we? Runway usage, refresh. Huh. That looks like... refresh, come on. There we go. Okay, everything is open now. Alright, what is the weather doing? Let's go to past hour. That is more telling than 3 hours ahead. So it is dissolving a little bit. This little part you can see dissolve as it moves towards land. Right, so it's not, rain is not an immediate threat. Yeah, and the Emirates has landed. The METAR in the meantime. Fuel clouds at 2,800 feet. Wind is increased a little bit to 12 knots. Mostly south. Visibility still good. Okay, so that's the current status quo. Last time I have shown you it. Okay, so that means that the Turkish could still go to this runway, but it looks like it probably won't. Or is it? Well, no, it is turning to the left. So Turkish will be taking off from over here. And the last airplane that I'm going to stick around for, whichever of the two is the last one to land or take off, the Dreamliner from Saudia or this one, might be that this Turkish A330 has to wait because of landing traffic now arriving and the two runways intersecting. Also, the King is coming. Stupid fence in between, but there's not a lot of fences around Schiphol, but this is definitely a little annoying bit. Right, nice duo shot. His Majesty and the Turkish A330. Meanwhile, a big thank you to John for your continued support, mate. Celebrating 2 months of AMS Live membership. And John writes, hello all, watching from Melbourne, Australia. Thanks, boy. You're welcome, John. Thank you for your continued support. Happy to have you as a member, and I hope it is going to stay that way for many more months to come. Thank you so much, John. Now the A380. Parked over there. The A330 at the threshold, but will need to hold short because there is intersecting traffic landing first. This would be KLM flight 1354 arriving from Prague, the Czech Republic, Boeing 737-800 with a current flight time of 1 hour and 4 minutes. The airplane is 23 years old, had its first flight in April 2000. And still coots in the water over here. We did see a pair of ducks. We also saw one grebe diving for fish or crayfish. Really nice to see that they are still around. Albeit over here and not along the Polderbaan, it seems like. They seem to have migrated. Apparently Mecca's over here is very good. Even the coots are drawn towards it. Alrighty, this is Turkish going to Istanbul, Airbus A330 flight 1952. We saw the arriving 1951 flight earlier in the stream. Quick turnover time though, has to be said. Airplane is 10 years old. Right, and the last airplane of the day is arriving from the east, flying in the vicinity of the south side of the city. The Dreamliner from Saudi, arriving from Jeddah, flight 215. Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner has taken 5 hours and 33 minutes to get here so far. The airplane is 7 years old. Its first flight was in January 2016. Now again, folks, I am looking to go out for another live stream tomorrow. Not sure yet of the time of day. Ideally, I go in the mornings. It's a time slot I have gotten used to. I think a lot of the viewers have gotten used to it as well. But it's always weather dependent. If it is really shitty weather, maybe I skip a day, but pretty confident that we should be able to get out tomorrow, although I do believe that of the upcoming days, tomorrow is going to be the wettest. I haven't seen yet if it is going to be a drizzly day all day, or maybe it's just focused precipitation in one part of the day. The weekend at least promises to be better over here, with sunshine and little to no precipitation. Definitely count on me doing a stream on Saturday and Sunday this weekend. But if possible, I will go out again tomorrow. Not sure yet of the location. Might very well be the same place once again. It was quite busy here today. I was happily surprised. It's always a bit of a gamble, but it looked like it worked out, with the exception of the A380 not landing right in front of us. But there you go. Folks, I am going to wrap up now and go back home again. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. I had a blast and I hope you guys all did too. Thanks to everyone who became a member, who still is a member, who is thinking about becoming a member, who has gifted memberships, or who has donated through super chats, super stickers, bought something from the merch store. That also sometimes still happens. Thank you all so much. PayPal donations, almost forgot about that. Your support means the world to me, and this channel would not be anything without you guys. Of course, a big thank you to all the 10,000 and something subscribers that have subscribed already to the channel, even before the 1 year mark. I think November 25th or 26th is the 1 year birthday of my first public live stream. If you want to see where it all began with, have a look at it. It is dreadful compared to what it is right now, but there you go, learning curve. Thank you all so much once again. Also, a very big thank you to the moderators once again for making the chat a friendly and welcoming place. Looking forward to seeing you guys all on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. Speak soon. Bye bye.